Welcome everybody to our 2017 Sponsor and Exhibitor webinar, all about the opportunities for you to be part of one of the industry's most incredible events in early childhood, the Child Care Success Summit. And this is Chris Murray here with you. I'm the president and founder of Child Care Marketing Solutions and the host of the Child Care Success Summit conference event. And I'm very excited today to have you guys all on the line with me and take an hour out of your busy schedules to learn about how you can grow and build your businesses in a big way by being a part of this event. I'm thrilled to welcome Barry Baumgartner to our webinar today. She's also sitting in to help answer any questions that you guys might have and talk about this event. She is the president of our event team, Sage, that helps us put on this incredible and growing event. And as you can imagine, with 600 or 700 attendees and close to 30 exhibitors, there are a lot of moving parts with this event, and we couldn't do it without Sage. So welcome, Barry, to our webinar today.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to be here. I love working with you and your team and with your sponsors, and I'm excited to talk today about what we can do to help them leverage their business and use the live event platform to help them monetize their plans for the upcoming year.
Perfect. Thanks so much. So we're going to just dive right in. Many of you on this webinar who are listening to the replay and the recording, this is being recorded, have been exhibitors in the past. And so you're pretty familiar with what goes on, but we also have a lot of new folks on the line. So I just want to review some history and tell you guys why this can be such a great event for your business. This event began in 2012 with 150 attendees and 8 exhibitors. And we have grown it in the last 5 years, this is going on the 6th year, to quite something. It's the largest business conference in the world for early learning businesses. And so because of that, and because it's focused on business and leadership and management versus teacher topics, that's really what sets it apart. This year in Chicago, we are projected for 700 attendees and 29 exhibitor spaces. And we already have, I counted the tickets, and I haven't shared this with Barry, but we've already got 660 approximate tickets out there in the marketplace being held. We have a few free tickets, but the majority of them are paid tickets. Folks can bring a guest for free currently with our early bird promotions, but we're super excited that 5 months out from the event, we're already sitting at 6. Tickets out there in people's hands already 5 months out. So we certainly have no problem trying to project 700 plus attendees in Chicago. Our biggest issue this year is with a slightly smaller ballroom is figuring out the seating to make everybody happy and not make them feel like they're squeezed in like sardines. But we're going to get creative with that, and we're not worried. But we're just excited with the number of folks that continue to come to this event and how it's continuing to grow year after year. It has a global reach, so we do have people coming from several countries around the world, including Australia, New Zealand, UK, and even some countries in Africa. The cool thing about this event that really sets it apart, as I mentioned, is it's a business-focused event. And so if you're trying to help childcare business leaders or owners grow their businesses, which is a fantastic niche, 75% of the folks in the room are owners, typically, many of them of multiple locations. If I had to guesstimate, I would say probably a third of those owners, maybe half, own 2 or more locations, and many own 5, 10, 15. So this is really the sweet spot for the non-franchise, multi-site, private preschool owner. This is where they are reached, which is why it's such a great event for you guys and for us. And then they bring their teams. So they like to bring their management staff, their directors, their admins, to have a team training approach. And really, this is the place where people in this industry come to get re-energized and remotivated every year. They party a little bit, they let off steam, because as you can imagine, it's very difficult running a child care center, dealing with licensing, with state regulators, with parents, with children who, can be a handful. And so they do an amazing job, but they also need a place where they can come and get re-energized and go back to their businesses and grow and feel remotivated and refreshed. And this is where it happens. So that's really what sets this event apart. This year, October 5th through the 7th, 2017, we are going to be in Chicago. We're excited because we've never been to the Midwest for this event. And some of the response in terms of ticket sales, early ticket sales, may also be because we are finally coming to the Midwest. So we have a big client base in Michigan, Ohio, Chicago, Iowa, and Indiana, and Minnesota. And they, I think, are really excited because typically, as you guys know, if you've been with us for a while, we tend to go to warm weather locations like Orlando or Vegas or Phoenix because people like to be there. But I think to come to Chicago is also a fantastic draw. And moving this event around to different parts of the country so that people in different areas don't have to necessarily get on an airplane also helps fill those seats. Is there anything, Barry, that you want to say specifically about this venue? Because I know you've done a lot of meetings here.
Yeah, I love this property because it's so easily accessible. It's easy to fly into O'Hare. It's easily accessible from every part of the United States and internationally. It's gone through recent renovation, so it's had a really nice facelift, and I think you can see that in some of the images here. There's great social and networking spots and little niches and cubbies where you can have private conversations, plus plenty of venues for eating and grabbing a glass of wine, and as Chris said, letting some steam off. And for sponsors and exhibitors, that it's kind of lends itself to the informal networking that happens outside of our exhibit halls. So it gives you that great combination of the forced traffic flow that we're going to talk about that we create in our exhibit area, plus these informal opportunities to mix and mingle and get to know the attendees and meet up with them privately for conversations. So it's the best of all worlds, I think, and the fact that this is the first time we've been to this part of the country, I think is really going to drive some new attendees and some new faces that we don't normally see. And I think that's reflected in those incredible numbers that we're already seeing. We're going to have our best ever attendance here, and I think this new location is part of that. So it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. And it's nice because it's also super close to, obviously, one of the biggest, airports in the world, in the country, and also a quick pop or train ride down to downtown. So I think that also serves it well. Here's the exhibitor hall layout. We have been working with the hotel, and we'll be in the LaSalle room for you guys in terms of the exhibitor hall. And you can see there the way that the booths are structured. We do a really lovely pipe and drape for you guys that's included in your booth price. So Barry can speak a little bit more to that. But we strive to make it a very high quality, luxurious feeling room and event for people. And we do an exhibitor party, and I'll talk about that more when I get to the schedule. We're kind of known for our exhibitor reception on day one, on Thursday of the 3-day event, to bring people in for food and beverage and bar, to mix and mingle, to get to know you guys. And it's a 2-hour reception to really drive traffic, pull them in. I'm in there signing books, and it's just a fantastic fun. We've had photo booths in there before. We've had little fun things going on in there. It's kind of a party, and you guys will all benefit from that traffic. So as you can see, there's the stations there, but just want to mention the food and beverage and bar is only available at limited time. So it's not like we're going to be constantly providing, those things there. but during morning coffee stations, certainly, and during the reception, as well as potentially other limited times, those will be set up as well.
Yeah, and I'd love the traffic flow of this space. And what you can kind of see here is not only are we taking over this whole ballroom for our exhibits, but we have those spaces in the pre-function. And based on how we're arranging traffic flow, I mean, the great thing about this is you never have a booth looking at a blank wall. There's always going to be activity, people, food and beverage, bar, or water service, tea service, sodas, that kind of thing. It just creates not only great traffic, meaning that there's lots of dispersion of the attendees throughout this exhibit space, but also lots of activity to keep things moving and make sure that there's really no bad space. And that's kind of the nice thing about an intimate show like this. In a big, huge trade show, sometimes you get lost in the shuffle. The great thing about this event, not only do we flood you with really well-qualified candidates, but it's an intimate show, and guaranteed you'll meet every attendee here, which is really nice, and have an opportunity to chat with them and talk with them. And these networking experiences like the reception that Chris mentioned, I mean, last year we kept it open an extra half hour because it was just, such a buzz of activity and people were loving the experience. And we got great compliments from our exhibitors, not only on the quality of the food and the beverage that was served, but on the quality of the people that came through. So we really work hard at that to make sure that it's a really great experience for you. Not just putting people in there, but enjoying the actual experience and creating an environment where the attendees want to stay and linger and talk with each other and talk with you.
And we intentionally limit the size of this opportunity. So there are a total of 30 booths shown here, and one of those will be a double-sized booth, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So there's 29 companies maximum that are going to be represented at this show. Last year there was 25. We really intentionally keep it small and intimate so that you guys all have an opportunity to meet these 700 folks. We could probably pack 60, companies in here. We've got 75 folks that have shown interest in exhibiting at this event so far, and people seem to be coming out of the woodwork lately in terms of companies that want to interact with us and be here because they know that it really is a great business focused show for our industry. So, but we again intentionally limit it to maximize the opportunity for you guys. So just so you know that. We strive to bring really great talent to the stage and to breakout sessions each and every year. So we typically feature a celebrity. You can see on the right, I'm there with Lisa Gibbons. And right after she came to our Vegas event, she won Donald Trump's Apprentice TV show. She won The Apprentice. So that was really, really fun for us, unbeknownst to us when we got her. So that was fantastic timing. We've also had Mia Farrow. We've had Glenn Morshower, who's a great movie and TV actor and an incredible speaker. And we also have industry speakers. So Dennis Vickers is pictured there in the middle. He's written for Exchange Magazine. He's a well-known childcare industry business expert. He did an amazing session. It blew everyone away. Gigi Schweikert there on the left is hilarious and fantastic. And we just strive. That's what we're really known for, is bringing great speakers that really draw people. This year we have Holly Alyssa Bruno already signed to be a keynote. She's a very well-known early education leadership speaker, and she's funny and great. And we are working on our celebrity keynote as we speak. So I'm not going to name drop just because I don't want to mislead and pre-sell anybody that I can't actually get, but we're looking at some really good potential celebrities this year to drive attendance. So just so you know that. And because they're motivated with the why behind why they should do it. So when they get home, back to their offices, back to their centers, they actually implement this stuff and they see huge results. And then they tell others about it. And that's, I think, why it's grown too, just because the word of mouth, the buzz on social media has been just really, really cool. We bring the best and right speakers and sponsors. We're looking for strategic partners in this. We're looking for people that have great tools for our folks. We like to highlight you guys from stage. We like to say, hey, we might, we pass the mic around the room and we hear from attendees live and we hear about their aha moments. And I've been known to say, hey, if you want to take that aha moment and take it to the next level, you need to go see whoever in the exhibit hall, because he or she, that company, is going to help you implement that nugget into your business immediately. So I'm constantly kind of giving little tidbits of driving people to you guys from stage. We just like to give you guys lots of love because you've paid to be there and be part of this event. And so we hope that you'll jump at this opportunity. Here's a basic schedule. This is subject to change, but just to kind of give you guys a flavor of what to expect. We give you guys a good amount of time on setup on the first, the pre-night, which is we open on Thursday morning at 8:30 is when we actually open the show. But the exhibits are open early. So we open the ballroom doors at 8:15, but you guys have an opportunity to capture traffic from the very beginning, starting at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. So you can set up the night before. We're there, we're on site. We're giving you everything that you need in terms of electrical and support. And Sage is fantastic at giving you guys all the support that you need. We're going to provide you with a whole setup packet and information prior to showing up. So you can order everything in advance that you need for your booth. We will do our reception roughly from 6 to 8 p.m. on that first night of the show, that Thursday night, and kick it off strong for you guys and drive traffic into the exhibitor hall in a big way. And then exhibits are open throughout the next day, Friday. And then this year we're doing something a little different because we've noticed that on the final day, on Saturday, that the exhibit area has been not super great attended, and people start breaking down at different times throughout the day, and it just feels kind of strange. So we decided to just close it. And so it helps you with optimizing your time and the focus of the folks who are there. It's like, you got to come into the exhibit hall Thursday or Friday because Saturday it's going to be closed. And that's going to, I think, really help also just drive traffic for the first 2 days, which is really what you're looking for anyway. Anything more about that, Barry, that you want to say?
Yeah, I would just say that, one of the things that we work on as we're fine-tuning the schedule is tweaking this and constantly re-innovating to make sure that we're making this the best possible experience for the sponsors, exhibitors, and the attendees. And so as Chris mentioned, this is a preliminary schedule. There may be some minor tweaks to this and setup time and delivery and deliverables. We're always looking at and tweaking what will create a better experience to drive people into the hall and keep them there. And so know that this is just to give you kind of a general overview and feel for how the show is going to flow. The one thing that we know for sure is that Saturday will be closed. And we've really watched that closely over the last couple of years. As this show has grown, we just noticed that both exhibitors and attendees' interest was dwindling on day 3. As they start to think about leaving and as they're focused on some things happening in the session room that are pretty impactful for day 3. And so our focus is really to drive people to you on Thursday and Friday, give you maximum traffic, maximum exposure, and we feel really confident for the number of sponsors and exhibitors we have and the number of attendees we have that it's the right number of hours. And just know that, one of the things that we're going to be working on between now and the show, and you'll be getting additional details on once you sign up, is exactly what move in and move out will look like, exactly what the schedule will be, and exactly what's happening on the show floor during key hours where we're not in session.
Awesome. And let me just mention too, because I didn't really mention at the beginning of this presentation, we also will be answering your questions. So if you guys have specific questions about anything, you can type them into the question box. I just noticed that there's no questions yet in there. We'll be doing Q&A at the end of this webinar, and we'll hopefully use either just an hour or slightly over an hour of your time, just FYI. But if you do have questions, please feel free to go ahead and type them in. So let's dig into what do the packages look like. So we have 5 different sponsorship opportunities and then just the base level exhibitor opportunity without any sponsorship included in it. And as you can see, we've got a total of 29 positions and laid out in 6 different levels. So the top level is platinum sponsorship. This in the past has been called main stage sponsorship. It's one spot with a category exclusivity tied to it, and it's the only one with category exclusivity tied to it, and a main stage speaking opportunity. And I'll dig into each of these in detail here in a moment. We have an Academy Lounge sponsorship. So last year we featured an Academy Lounge. The Childcare Success Academy is our high-end coaching group. It's about 100 companies, 100 owners in different levels of high-end coaching with us, and they're part of our academy: gold, platinum, platinum plus, diamond. And they have a VIP lounge available to them where they can mix and mingle, and makes them feel set apart from the rest of the group, and gives them an additional place to have some snacks provided and to do some networking and meet one-on-one and have just a really yummy private space. And last year it was well utilized, but probably not as well as we would have liked, but it was the first year. It was an experiment. We're definitely going to keep going with it and make it even more of an attraction to our members in terms of decor and feel and vibe. And we would like a sponsor to help us get that done and make it a really fantastic benefit to our high-end. These are our highest end clients. So the Academy Lounge sponsor will have access to this fantastic group of people who are buyers. We have a registration sponsorship, which gives you early access when people are registering. You'll have an opportunity to meet each and every person as they register, and they can get to know more about your company. Breakout session sponsors, we have 10 of those. We have more breakout rooms available this year, and we have 2 different slots on day 1 for you to do a 1-hour breakout session, a workshop where you can actually present some content. We don't want it to be a sales pitch. We want it to be content rich, but people can get to know you, and you can be in front of a good proportion of folks there. So it'll be a max of 5 breakout sessions running concurrently across 700 attendees. So you'll still have a large draw of potential clients and leads that you can be in front of. The reception sponsor actually sponsors the reception, the exhibitor reception that we mentioned, which is kind of the fun party on day 1, the first evening. And then just the straight exhibitors, which provides you with the booth opportunity and some other benefits. So let's dig into each one quickly here. We have, basically there's 3 different pricing levels, and I'll try to explain this to you in a way that is not confusing. And I'll actually take you through a step-by-step of how this works so that I can help you guys understand it. Essentially, the kind of full price investment on this is $50,000. There's only one of them, and this is, again, the only one that has category exclusivity. So if it's important to you to be the only one in your service area, product or service area, at this event and lock out competitors, then this is the one that you would want to consider. It gives you a 45-minute main stage speaking opportunity, so you get to address and give great content and make relationship with from stage, which really promotes your expert positioning to all 700 attendees. You'll be featured in primary placement. You'll have, a lot of amazing placement because you are the platinum sponsor of the event. So your logo will be on the attendee binder, you'll be on the tote bags, and you'll have exclusivity there. Double-sized booth, you're the only one with an oversized 10 by 20 booth in a prime booth location. And you can reduce your investment to $40,000. So essentially, we're going to do a kind of what I'll call a rack rate, which is the top level pricing of $50,000. We have an early bird pricing if you take advantage and you get your application back quickly, and I'll walk you through all of that. And then if you want to bring guests with you, you'll get complimentary tickets for your clients. So if you would like to utilize these 12 complimentary guest registrations, then you can essentially buy down your investment by bringing clients to the event and giving them complimentary tickets. So it actually provides value to your company because you're reaching out to some of your best clients that probably don't know about me or the event. They're people that would be new to us. And you will receive a $10,000 discount just for doing so. So our rules on this are 2 tickets per company. So essentially you'd be reaching out and getting 6 of your clients to come to the event and using 6 to 12, depending if they want to bring a guest, using all 12 complimentary guest registrations, and then you can buy down your investment to $40,000. So hopefully that makes sense so we can answer more questions about that. The Academy Lounge sponsorship.
Actually, can I just say one quick thing about that one?
Go
the
ahead.
last one, Chris?
Yep.
I was just going to say, for those of you who are kind of debating, what options might be best for you, the option that we were just talking about, if you're looking for a game changer in your business to get on the main stage, with an intro from Chris, have an opportunity to be in front of all the attendees with your message, is a total positioning play from the perspective that you'll be featured the most in our visual promotions. You'll get additional love from the stage, but you get that time to get your message out there. So if you're looking to be seen and be heard, to make a statement, for positioning, for credibility, to build your reputation, all of those things kind of get rolled up into this, and I didn't want that to get lost. It's one of the few opportunities to really get in front of this audience, but the only opportunity to get in front of the whole audience, and the only opportunity, that 45-minute slot is more than enough time to really deliver some incredible content. And just know that if you were to choose this platinum sponsorship, Chris and I will work personally with you. We'll have calls with you beforehand to make sure that we're really honing the topic, the title, the content, the delivery, to make sure that you're getting the best possible return on your investment by zeroing in on exactly what content is right for this audience and how to position you so that they're really paying attention. And the end result of this is they're flooding your booth for the rest of the show. Like, this will be placed early enough in the program that you get a lot of visibility, and then people who want to come see you are going to go to your booth to meet with you and your team to find out more.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. And I'm going to talk a little bit here in a minute about case studies of actual companies that have exhibited at the show and what they've gotten in terms of return. But what you want to think about is your average client, the value of an average client to you, the value of an average deal to you. And a couple of the success stories that I'm going to share in a moment range from companies who are bringing $100,000 to $180,000 of revenue per year by attending this event. So is it worth it to you to spend $40,000 or $50,000 to gain 100 or 180 or 200? It depends on the size of your deal and the average lifetime customer value of a client to you. But there are plenty of companies that are spending this type of investment because they realize that, it's a no-brainer in terms of the ROI. So I'll just mention that. That's where you have to decide for you if it's right for you. Is just looking at the pure numbers of ROI and guesstimating or estimating what that will be. And I'll give you some case studies here in a moment to help you figure that out. The Academy Lounge sponsorship is also provided is one opportunity. One company will be in there inside of the lounge, and it's a $20,000 package. Provides you with exclusive access to, as I mentioned, all of our VIP coaching clients. These are all members of our Child Care Success Academy. They invest between $7,000 and $30,000 to be in the academy because they are growing their child care centers by leaps and bounds and growing locations. And, I just had Lucy from Australia just told me she grew to 6 million this year because of being part of our coaching. So it's people who are players, they're winners, they want to grow their businesses, they want to invest in the tools that you guys have. And so this is a great opportunity. Your message will be exclusively and prominently featured in the Academy Lounge, and you can lay out promotional materials for them to consume and take. You will also have a 10-minute spotlight with me on stage as part of the sponsorship, and we will sit and do a side-by-side chit chat Q&A. I will ask you questions designed to highlight your company and your services and give a little bit of content and build relationship with the audience. So we did a few of those last year and they were fantastic. You'll get an ad in the binder, the booth, and then you can buy down your investment. As I mentioned, when you bring clients, you can reduce to $15,000 with 8 complimentary guest registrations should you choose to use those, which is 4 companies that you would be bringing. Okay.
And I would just add on this one, what's really great about the lounge, in addition to being in front of the best buyers, the way Chris just mentioned, is for those of you who have companies where there's a more consultative approach, or you might like to do demos. This is a really perfect opportunity because you're basically whittling down our entire audience into some of our best buyers and our most focused companies. And having that space in the lounge, we're happy to work with you to customize your presence in the lounge. You might even have a giveaway, a special gift for people coming through the Academy Lounge that's a takeaway that not only reminds them of you, but keeps them closer to you. And every time they see it, that's a reminder to work with you. So again, know that this comes with our consultation to work with you to make sure that you're making the most of this opportunity.
So the registration sponsorship, this has been a popular one in the past and has gotten snapped up quickly. So just so you guys know that. So we did increase the price slightly from last year just because it has been popular. You'll be the only one here at the registration area, and your message will be featured prominently during registration, and you can meet every attendee prior to the start of the conference. You'll get an endorsement from stage from me, an ad, the booth, and then you can reduce your investment to $7,500 on this with those comp guest registrations. So breakout sessions. A lot of you guys want to do topics and actually host workshops so that you can build relationship and your expert status in front of our audience in a bigger way and have an hour to actually spend with people. And so you can be a featured expert presenter in a 1-hour breakout workshop session. No competing companies will host concurrently. So as I mentioned, we're going to be doing 2 sessions of breakouts, the first session of 5 and the second session of 5 if we max this out. We will work our hardest. I mean, obviously we promise that we're not going to put you concurrently with a competitor. You can highlight your unique services and topic with a 1-minute video. So before the breakouts, we actually have you come on site and we shoot a video with you where you talk about and kind of have a chance to pre-sell your session and give some excitement and some content about what's going to be covered in your session. And that'll be played to the entire room prior so that they can pick their sessions. This year, we also are talking about trying to get a better handle on traffic and demand on sessions by having people sign up for sessions in advance. So I'm not sure how that will play in. I just wanted to mention that as a possibility that we're looking at. But I think it would be helpful to also have some pre-marketing to your session in advance and let people know that you're going to be speaking so that we can drive traffic to your session in advance as well, and versus just having people decide when they get there. So we're going to work with that and figure that all out. So you will get
I'll just add too, like one quick thing that kind of ties into that, Chris. Sorry, I was just going to say for those of you who've been to our events before, who've sponsored before, one of the things that we worked really hard on this year is to find larger breakout spaces. So if you've been with us before, you know that these have been standing room only, and attendees are clamoring to get into these workshops with these specialty speakers, in part because of what a great job Chris does to promote them from the stage using those videos and her own endorsement. So one of the things to know is that we do have bigger space, and that means more people in your session and more easy access to you.
Yeah, thanks. For people that were there in the past, yeah, it's been, the clamoring's been not necessarily always elegant. So we're always working to drive the traffic flow and improve the overall experience as people just decide their breakouts and flow in. Exhibitor spaces. So the bulk of the remaining spaces, again, there's 29 total spaces, and so 15 of those are the exhibitor opportunity, which provides you with that great visibility inside of the hall, the booth, the pipe and drape, an ad in the binder, and it's our most reasonably priced investment level, especially if you're just getting started or you're new to this event and you kind of want to dip your toe in the water but still be there. Early pricing here next. We do have a deadline on that to receive your application, and the application is actually in the panel in your GoToWebinar panel. It's in the handout section, and I'm also going to tell you where to go get it in terms of the website. I'm going to have you write down a website address for you to go and grab it as well here coming up. There's a $500 deposit required with application. That's all you need to do to get started. And we actually lowered that from last year. Last year it was $1,000. What we're trying to make it really easy for you guys to get started with us and get huge gains in your business. We also have a fast action bonus. We're going to train and coach you for ultimate success. So Barry has done in the past an amazing live training webinar, and I will be joining her. Plus, we're offering you a complimentary video training series from Barry that really takes you through the key step-by-step success strategies for how to drive leads to your booth, how to maximize those leads and turn them into customers and convert them into clients once they arrive at your booth, to make sure that this is your most profitable event ever. We really, it's important for us, for you to be successful, and we want to maximize your return on investment on this conference. We want to help you with standout booth design. We want to help you understand the best practices around booth design and how to capture, and what if you get tons of traffic flow, how do you capture that traffic flow and how do you optimize it? What to do before, during, and after to maximize your results, how to have those sales conversations that feel authentic and yummy, that will help you convert business. And also how to craft a lead generation offer, how to drive people to your booth and generate leads so you can take home a big basket of leads and follow up with them. Is there anything else that you want to say on here, Barry?
Yeah, the one thing I would add is just, the interesting thing about this is that I created this video training series, and Chris and I have developed this ROI workshop for you, or kind of virtual workshop for you, based on the fact that I used sponsorship to build stage event management when I first started the company 14 years ago. I used speaking on stages. I used speaking at breakouts. I used getting in front of audiences with an exhibit, all as part of how I got in front of my target audience. And so I really am just a huge believer in the power of sponsorship, because not only do I help to design trade shows and design events that I know will deliver great results, I've been a sponsor. So I know what it feels like. I know how important the investment is to a growing up-and-coming company that's trying to be seen and heard and get out from the pack and establish a very special relationship with existing customers and with potential customers. And I'm also a really big believer that you do not have to spend a fortune to have a great booth. I think there are a lot of really simple, easy tricks that you can use to stand out from the crowd, to generate great traffic to your booth. And as Chris mentioned, I'm such a big believer in before, during, and after. And I find that so often for exhibitors and for sponsors, they really focus on what happens at the live event, and then they get home and they don't do anything with it. Or beforehand, they didn't put the proper planning in place to reserve time on their calendar to follow up on those leads. And one of the biggest things we know happens at shows is that they don't monetize it simply because they don't have the right follow-up. So all the tricks of the trade that I've learned from being a sponsor, from working with sponsors, training sponsors, and designing great trade shows is all going to be what we deliver here for you to make sure that you really, you can take this training and use it at our show, but you can take this training and use it anywhere. Our goal is to make you a more educated and confident and profitable sponsor and exhibitor, not only so you want to come back and exhibit with us, but so you really have a great relationship with the concept of sponsorship and the return on the investment and how it can really be a game changer for your company. So looking forward to doing that with you. We always have a great time doing that. We've gotten rave reviews before from our sponsors, and we've got a couple new things in this video training series. If you've been with us before, I know we've got a few new things to share with you that you haven't heard before.
Yeah, and I actually have some secret sauce on this too, Barry, because I've never shared some of the ways that I grew my business as a fledgling coach and speaker, author, trainer. I actually schlepped to so many shows myself, being a one-girl show at the time, and I did some really, really, really fun things at different booths at early childhood, state, and national conferences, and that's how I built my business too, from the very beginning, ground up. So I would like to also share on that webinar some of the secret tips that I did to make your booths fun, because I really feel like when you can step outside of your box and be fun and draw people into something. A great example last year was Kangaroo Time. They had a portrait gal, and they brought, and then everybody at the show got a free portrait, and that drove traffic to their booth. Now, it was a little bit crazy in terms of traffic and trying to squeeze them into our exhibit hall, but we did it, and it was fantastic, and it was a great value for attendees, just one idea. And that's also why we have a really fun photo booth with all the accessories in the exhibit hall. We're trying to make this really fun for people. And we can work with you guys, and we'll give you ideas on the webinar for how to add buzz, fun, and improve traffic flow to your booth. So here's a summary of opportunities. There's 29 companies. Again, starting out at the platinum position at the top. And so this kind of just lays it out in a grid in terms of, I mentioned earlier, there's kind of 3 pricing levels, what I'll just kind of call rack rate in the second column there to the left. Your early bird pricing, again, you can save 5% when you apply with your $500 deposit by May 5th, which is a week from Friday. And then we're going to give you those complimentary guest tickets to bring folks that are in your client base that have not heard about us, that are not currently registered for the summit, and give you the opportunity to reduce your investment and get a credit towards your investment. And the way that works is that once you book all of those clients in, and there's a September, I think it's a mid-September deadline to get those folks booked, we will rebate you with a check after the show. We track all of that. We make sure that those people actually attend, and then we audit it, and assuming that that all works out, we will then send you a check for your rebated amount. So that's the menu, and I have this exact same slide here in a moment coming back, so you'll see this again. But what I want to walk you through is just an example of the step-by-step in terms of the logistics of investment, time, dates, etc. So let's say you wanted to do a breakout session sponsorship. You would apply, you want to get the early bird 5% discount, which brings it down to an investment of $7,125, okay? So you would complete and submit your application, which again, that PDF is over in the documents panel inside of GoToWebinar, but I'm also going to give you a link for where to go get it. You would apply by next Friday, May 5th at 5 o'clock, sending it to us via scan email or through fax, along with your credit card to be charged your $500 deposit. We will be reviewing applications the week of May 8th. If for some reason we don't accept your application, we will refund you your deposit. That typically doesn't happen, but it could happen if we feel like either you're not right for this event or we get too many applications for a certain category, then we will pretty much determine based on first come, first serve, and also to some degree people who have exhibited with us in the past. We will automatically charge your card, the $500 deposit, and then the remaining, what we're looking for is a 50% of your remainder due by May 31st. So 50% less the deposit will be charged on Wednesday, May 31st, and the amount is shown there. And then the remainder, you'll have another month. So we basically are spreading out your payments for you to try to help you with your cash flow. The remainder will be charged at the end of June. And if you secure, as I mentioned, your guest passes fully, we will audit that, make sure that they attended, and give you that credit, that rebate back for, in this case, the $11.25 to reduce your total investment to $6,000. The cutoff to secure your guests is September 15th. Again, this event is October 5th through the 7th. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Chicago. So certainly your folks should be getting their travel arrangements and their commitments in by mid-September. Your guest clients who you would like to give your passes to must not already be registered and must be new to us. Okay. So hopefully that just takes you through the logistics of how this works.
Yeah, I was just going to add one quick thing. Once you've secured your spot, you'll also be sent a contract. We have a new, very simple, written in layman's terms, easy-to-use contract that includes terms and conditions. And it's a really great way to set expectations. And there's all the details that you'll need to know that govern the booth space and the show itself, just to make sure that we're 100% on the same page coming in together. And then we'll also have a confirmation letter that comes with FAQs and schedules and details on the webinar series and the video and all that good stuff, so that you have everything that you need at your fingertips. And that includes access to a concierge within Chris's team and a concierge within our team at Sage to help support you in the weeks and months leading into the event. So if you have any questions along the way, both teams are here to support you to make sure that you have, all your questions answered and a really great experience, not only at the show, but leading into the show.
So I want to tell you guys a little bit about some success stories. So we've got two in particular that I have the numbers on, but so many of our exhibitors and sponsors have come back to this event year after year after year, which tells you that it is definitely worth their investment. So last year we had a brand new sponsor called Sotellus, which has an online review system. And they gained between 150 and 175 new clients last year. I think I'm giving those numbers correctly because I was kind of putting the slide together a little bit last minute, but it might have been more than that. $99 a month is what they gained. So they added, just from their very first year at this show, $15,000 per month in revenue. Of course, they're coming back, and I think they're actually on this webinar right now. So hi, Troy and Ron. But they had fantastic success with this event, which, doing the math on that, that is $180,000 in revenue in their first year from this event. So it was well worth their time and their investment, and they got a huge ROI. Childcare CRM, Chuck just told me earlier today, this morning, that a typical show for him, he's been exhibiting here. He's my longest term sponsor. He's been exhibiting at this show since 2012, since the very beginning. And his typical results from this show are he gains 100 to 120 leads on schools or centers, and those then convert to 50 to 70 clients, new clients, each and every year, 50 to 70 clients per year, which he roughed out as an ROI. He's gaining around $100,000 a year in revenue from these clients each and every year. And he told me specifically via text earlier, that's why we spend $10K to come every year, because we gain 100 from it. So in the last 5 years that he's been with us at this show, we've helped him add $500,000 to his business. I'm pretty proud of that. I would liken to say that this event has been the biggest source of leads and new customers of anything he's ever done. So we really want to work with you guys, and the numbers really support our packages. And they're not for everyone, but we spend a lot of money. My company personally spends a lot of money as the host to bring great speakers. They're not cheap. To bring Mia Farrow to the stage, to bring Lisa Gibbons. So we invest a lot to get people there, to get those 700 people there. We market a ton, and we spend a ton to put on this event. So that's why we are also asking for what I think is a reasonable investment from you guys to play and to be here. There's also, Zono's been there, PB&J, SSG Advisors. They've all gotten huge ROI, and they come back year after year to this event. Anything else about that, Barry? that I missed?
Yeah, I love really spelling out the ROI, and I think it's easy for you to do your own math on this based on your company and your model, and really think about not just, what sales can you generate at the event, but so often for so many of us, it's what sales would that lead to after the event. That source of leads is real money with the right follow-up. And if it gets you even one new customer in front of 10 new customers that you wouldn't have met before, or allows you to reconnect with 10 existing customers, what is the value of that in just 2 days of your time? So it's a really great way to do some quick ROI. And as you're thinking about which level you want to come in at, really think about the perspective of what would move the ball forward, what would jump the needle for your company, which of these positioning opportunities would mean the most for you? Is it, getting to actually speak because you have a very important message that if people just saw you in a different light, they would be more willing to stop by your booth or come see you or spend time with you? That would be a breakout or a main stage position. Is lead gen your biggest source of opportunity? Then the registration sponsorship is perfect for you. If time to network and some visibility and some unique opportunities to get a gift in people's hands would be an awesome opportunity for you, or having a raffle so that you can do some lead gen on top of getting things in people's hands, that would be the reception sponsorship. And so again, I would just say from a consultation perspective, Chris and I always lead with strategy. If you're not sure which one of these opportunities would give you the best return on your investment, don't hesitate to reach out individually. We'd be happy to talk to you about these or how we can customize something to work for you.
And I just looked at the question panel, and Chuck just wrote in there, it is the biggest source of anything we do. Yeah. You said, so I just said it, Chuck. So thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
I really appreciate you being able to share those numbers too. That means a lot. So how to apply? So again, it's as simple as filling out a one-page application. It's not difficult. We try to make it easy for everybody. We want you to take advantage of the early bird savings. You can go to this web address, and you might want to write this down because this is where the slide deck that I'm showing you right now will be available. So you can review this with any other decision makers or your team. The recording of this webinar is being recorded right now. So the video replay will also be put on this page, which is childcaresuccesssummit.com/sponsor. And the application is there. The application is also, should be in your panel in the handouts section near the bottom. There's a PDF there. But you can go to this page and give us a few hours to get this video, this MP4 file up. If you want to have somebody go watch the replay, you can also tell colleagues about it. If you know somebody that doesn't know about this event and you think they should be there, please, by all means, send them our way. And please let us know that you have sent us a referral, because we also will give you a referral credit. I'm not going to go into all of those details right now, but we have certainly sent Chuck a check or given him a credit on his sponsorship for sending others our way. All you have to do is click on the application button and download it, and then just fill it out, and you can email it back or fax it back. Diane Markowitz on my team is in charge of our partner relationships, including sponsors and affiliates. And her information is at the bottom of that form. Her email directly, which is Diane@childcare-marketing, is there, and our fax number that goes straight to our office. So again, I just mentioned here with this slide again, just to kind of give you guys the menu of opportunities again. And don't forget about the Fast Action bonus. So we look forward to coming to you with some great webinar training. And I've never really talked about my early days of exhibiting and how I drove leads to my booth with really fun out-of-the-box stuff, but I'm going to do that this year, Barry. I'm hoping I might even have some old pictures of some of my original booths, but
that would be awesome. Oh, that would be fun. I could show some of my booths through the years, and you could show some of yours. They've definitely evolved.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Well, because I had 2 or 3 things that I did that really drove traffic and were really fun. So I'll reveal those on the webinar. So you guys have to sign up so you can get the secret sauce. All right, so that's really it. We are going to dive into Q&A. So again, there's a few questions that I saw, so I'm going to go ahead and just answer those. And I'm just going to do a time check. I think we've got a couple minutes. Yeah. So I'll leave this slide up so you guys can write down that URL or go there and get just more information. See see questions. Okay. So Alita wants to know, so actually I wanted you to speak to this, Barry, because we talked about this earlier, about positioning and how the booth spots will be chosen, because Alita wants to know if she can request companies that they want to be next to. And we have tried really hard in the past. If you tell us we really want to be near our buddy or our partner because it fits in with how we're presenting our stuff, so we can try to accommodate that. But do you want to speak to how we select booth positioning?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, the person who chooses the platinum, or the company who chooses the platinum sponsorship and gets the double booth, will have the first choice of where they'd like to have their double booth space. So as our largest sponsor, they'll get first right of refusal on booth spaces, and then we assign after that. And we absolutely do pay attention to where competitors are and where complements would be. Sometimes we do have requests like yours, like, I work really closely with this other company that's going to be there. We'd love to be across from one another or next to each other. So we typically don't reveal the booth placement until a few weeks, about 21 days out before the event, and that's so that we have the opportunity to really think through alignment, where everybody is, the final floor plan, food and beverage placement, once we know all of our final attendee numbers, all that stuff. So we put a lot of time and energy into the mechanics of where we're placing you and making sure that it makes sense. And we absolutely would love to know if you have preferences about who you would like to be next to or not be next to. We understand that too. We want this to be a great experience for everyone there.
Awesome. Connie wants to know, I guess I must have a typo earlier in the slides, because she says the sponsor exhibitor partner application shows 15 exhibitor spots. And yes, and most of the slides I've been saying have had 15. Maybe I had a typo somewhere, but there's 15 total, Connie. If I mentioned 12,
and that's actually not including the packages. That could be throwing people off.
Correct.
Too. So that's like those are the exhibit only slots versus exhibit booth spaces that come with a package that we've talked about. Exactly.
Correct. So there's 10 speakers, actually breakout session sponsorships where you're actually speaking and doing a workshop. There's 4 other packages, I think, which means 4 plus 10 is 14 different sponsorships, plus the 15 just straight exhibitor spots for a total of 29 spots, opportunities. Okay. Terry's wondering how much time during the Thursday and Friday, the 2 days that the exhibit hall is going to be open, how many opportunities or how much time of those days will be open for people to visit other than just the reception. So Connie, we typically do a morning break. Usually our networking / go visit the exhibitor breaks are a half hour. So we try to give people a good chunk of time to come to the hall and make their rounds and meet all the exhibitors. So usually there's at least one morning break and one afternoon break. Sometimes there's 2 afternoon breaks, which would be an hour to an hour and a half, plus a decent sized lunch break. So usually there's about 3 hours plus some evening time total in the day that people can come. And then of course there's the mornings as well.
Right, yeah, we typically serve coffee there first thing in the morning and attract people down to the exhibitors before we start the morning session. And again, we'll be fine-tuning that schedule, and it will be part of the confirmation letter that we send you. But our goal is to find big chunks of time. So your primary focuses where you're going to have the biggest chunks of time with the most mix and mingle and the most traffic are going to be first thing in the morning before the session starts, during the lunch break, and we enhance that with having food and beverage opportunities in there during the lunchtime. And those vary. The opportunities and how we structure that is varied over the years. We're constantly tweaking it to see what will work best. That reception time on day 1 and evening time on day 2 before you break down.
Okay, Jeff is alerting me to a typo in the application. So it looks like I'm going to have to redo the application because I switched. You just have to switch those spaces, Jeff. Let me redo it. The application put the reception at 10 and the registration at 5, and they're the opposite. Oops. That's what I get for making last minute changes. So let me go ahead.
We'll fix that.
You guys can, if you want either one of those, just scratch it out. Just match the slideshow is the boss. So what I just presented to you guys in the slides supersedes the PDF that so I'll fix it and we'll re-put it up. So if you want to just give us an hour or two after the webinar, we'll fix it. Or just cross it out to match the slides, and we'll work with you, make sure it's correct. Chuck wants to know, you mentioned 700 attendees earlier. How are you planning on getting these numbers? So we already, Chuck, I mentioned we already have a total of 660 tickets out there. So the way that breaks down is, so I have no worries about getting 700 in the room because we're going to continue to market it, and I'll talk a little bit about that. Great question. So we started out with an early bird, the down and dirty pricing. What we always do is at last year's summit, we offered the best deal package, and it was buy one, get one, so they can bring a guest for free. And we sold a good number of those. I think it was like 75 or something, which was higher than even in past years. So we start out selling the coming year at this past show. So we sold at Phoenix, we sold Chicago. And in Chicago, we'll sell the 2018 venue. So that already comprised 150 people in the room if everybody brings guests. And then some people bring more guests. Some people buy additional guest tickets and add on to those tickets. The Academy folks, our Childcare Success Academy folks, get either 1 or 2 free tickets, and then they also bring additional team members as well, oftentimes. So like Mike Garatoni from Indiana just bought 5 tickets, I think he's got, because he wants to bring all of his staff. I mean, he might even have bought more than that. And then we just continue to promote it. We have an early bird that we did in March, which expired on March 31st. And so over time, we continue to raise the ticket price and take the bonuses away. So people have been conditioned to buy early, and our industry kind of likes to buy early. They're not last minute people necessarily. They tend to be planners. And so between the Academy people, the early bird ticket holders, and then we have some additional people who have bought some products and gotten some complimentary or low price tickets. Adding those all up together, I did the math recently, and it was 660 tickets that are out there. Plus, we have the complimentary tickets that you guys might be using to bring clients that are new to us, and those will also be attendees. We're going to do another big promotion in May with the next level of deal pricing, X dollars off. And then we'll do another big ticket push in July. Kind of our final big push is we do direct mail. We do really fun direct mail. We send really cool stuff in the mail to get people's attention and open up the letter and register. We do lots of email blasts. We do really good social media and outbound phone calling. We also have a large membership in the Chris Murray Insiders Club, and we market to those folks as well. So between all of those methods, I have no worries that we're going to have 700 people in the room. So hopefully that answers your question. We do a lot. We do a lot to market and promote and make sure that we're going to have that level of attendees. If we're going to promise it to you guys, we're not known for promising 600 and then only 400 are there. And that happens. As you guys know, if you've been at other early childhood conferences, you know that sometimes that happens. That just doesn't happen with us. Any other questions? Mark wants to know, do the booths come with electricity, carpet, internet, et cetera, or are those type of items a la carte? I'll shoot one that to you, Barry.
Oh, can you see?
You want me to repeat?
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah. Mark wants to know, do the booths come with electricity, carpet, internet, et cetera, or are those type of items a la carte?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the ballroom is actually carpeted. So it comes with carpet, but not custom carpet. So it's a carpeted ballroom, but it's going to be the existing carpet. Some exhibitors do like to customize their exhibit space by putting a branded colored carpet. And you can always do that by bringing your own. You just have to provide appropriate mechanisms to tape it down and make it secure. If you have questions about that, we can talk about that separately, just to make sure it's not a safety issue. electricity and internet are not included but can be purchased directly through the hotel. We do have forms for that, and they are pre-negotiated discounts at group buying discounts based on not only our use of it, but your use of it and a multi-day use of it. So know that we do all the heavy lifting on that. All you have to do is fill out the form and submit it in advance through our team, and we'll make sure that that's prepped and ready and waiting in your booth for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions, guys? All right, Barry, I think that's it. So again, yeah, our goal is to partner with you guys. We really want this to be an awesome investment for you. If you have questions, you can contact Diane on our team. The phone number is there. That's our direct office line, or in her email. And we will fix up the application here in a moment, and we will re-upload it to this page. You can click on the application button and grab it, and we will look forward to hopefully hearing back from you with your interest level and your application filled out by next Friday, May 5th at 5 o'clock Eastern. And then we'll be reviewing all applications and charging $500 deposits the following week, the week of the 8th. Any other final words, Barry?
Just that it's a real honor to have the opportunity to get to work with and partner with you. As Chris mentioned earlier, we both have a real passion for the importance of live events in this space. I think there's nothing like a live event to get people excited and motivated and inspired about their business and about possibility and opportunity. And what immediately is an extension of that is I need resources in order to have that growth. So when Chris and her team and our speakers are up there inspiring people and giving them new tools and tips and trend analysis of what they can do to grow their practice and what they can do to get new clients and what they can do to have better team members and get them better trained, they get ignited and they want to start right away. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to have sponsors and we wanted to grow a trade show, is that's exactly where you come in. You're the resources and the partners that help fuel that and make all of that happen. And so to have you right there when they're, when those ideas are being ignited, when that excitement and that sense of opportunity is all coming together, the next thing they say is, tell me what I can do. And Chris is really, really great at driving people to the sponsors who were at the show and saying, that's a great question. You ought to go see so-and-so who's over in our exhibit hall. And that kind of synergy that comes between
And that is why I love you.
The Mutual Admiration Society.
I know. Great. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to be with us today. We are super excited to work with you and make this a success for everyone involved. And we look forward to hearing from you. And we will obviously put all of this stuff up on the site there, on the page, and you guys can watch the replay again or access all of the resources and materials as needed. And just let us know if you have questions. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks again. Thank you so much, Barry, and to my team also, because I know they're all listening in. And especially to Diane, who's been working so hard with all of our sponsors and exhibitors who have been showing interest to date and getting them signed up for this webinar. So thanks, everybody, so much, and we will talk to everybody soon.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.